We will get started in a few moments. Anybody have anything exciting going on today?
We got election in Israel.
Oh,
Yeah.
also OpenSSL patching day. If you're on version 3. All right. Emily had sent her regrets. We'll give folks another minute or so, since we all just met like 14 hours ago. I guess while we are waiting for folks to join, let's we can have a little small group discussion. How do we feel we want to use this meeting time in the very near future? We're very close to having the draft of the plan more or less shored up to pass upwards for approval. So once that happens and we start to move into execution mode, how do we want to leverage the full SIG time? Any thoughts or suggestions beyond just kind of a readout?
I would say issue review, things of that nature, feedback for stuff that needs people like stakeholder approval, because I think that we act as a stakeholder at this SIG. So
Make a little note here.
just a thought.
Any other thoughts?
Would it be still before the actual CERT will start working?
Well, I think we'll be a ways away from being able to coordinate anything. I think the first bunch of months is going to be finding and installing tooling, writing process and training. I think we're several months away from being able to do anything around CVD.
I know that most of our focus is being volunteer based. So I know that I just feel like that would make a lot of sense if we had a time where we could all just kind of gather and make decisions. Because I know there's a lot of things that kind of require at least the sections to work together. Which I know after we present the plan is no longer going to really be a thing, the sections, right?
We still could transform those into, for example, someone that's interested in developing triage documentation. Then another group might be working on that one-page slick to engage maintainers. Another component of us could be thinking up ideas and trying to figure out a program on how to encourage volunteers.
Right. I would say that yeah, the all the issues that need collaboration between SIGs, I think that would be the best use of the time here. And maybe also reporting those groups that if we're going to do group-based activities, maybe a time where that or this time can be used for those groups to come back and kind of share what they got, somewhat of like a show and tell.
Francis.
Yeah, I think Randall has a good idea here. I would convert this with the following features, like no agenda, no meeting. And the nature of this sync is now for decision-making between the sections and or presentation of proposals. Like if we do have eventually like proposals that are enticing for the whole SIG, for the whole like a working group to work on or SIG, yeah, let's adopt and like change the format, but I would move to something less, like even less aggressive than bi-weekly at this point, because like you said, it's kind of moot right now. We're waiting on a lot of approvals to go through, and yeah.
And maybe we become a little more disciplined, and before we can have a stub agenda, and as people have things they want to share, they would put that in there. And if we didn't have any topics to discuss, we would not necessarily meet.
I like meetings that are canceled.
Yeah, it's like a little gift in your day. All right, I think any other suggestions or comments on the kind of show and tell proposal, transforming this call into something like that? Once we get the plan rolling.
Sounds good.
All right. Do we have any, we have Francis from section 3 and Randall from section 1. Do we have any updates on anything, or do you need help from anyone from this group here?
Nope.
I actually did, Francis. I looked into Vince, but we need an AWS account because I can't run it on local stack because they actually have like real AWS features they use, not just like their local environment. I was telling Krob also that I talked to or got in touch with some other CERT teams that have some CERT tooling that I put in your issue there. Yeah. That one, the Hive, looks pretty interesting. Apparently it's pretty widely used.
I've been
yeah.
exposed to the Hive in the past. It does get the job done, but it's mostly as like an alert gathering place. It's less of a coordination place.
Right. So
And
yeah,
it does
so
have
as I
quite a
said,
bit of scaling and infrastructure maintenance needs.
right. So I did add all that there, and then there was another one that I found that was pretty open source, which was interesting because it was pretty extensible and pretty easy to like extend. So I did add that one there too, the FIPS one.
Perfect. Thank you.
Go ahead.
That one is made, I think, by like a CERT group in Latin America, Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. So it was interesting because it seemed very official if you know how to read Spanish. So yeah. Yeah. So I did add those two for your consideration. And both of those seemed pretty open source, or pretty vendor agnostic, if you will. That's the word I was looking for.
I owe Francis a pull request on adding the CERT program manager to section 3. So I'll get details in there. So we have a stub to have somebody to help manage running the plan once it's in place, and then to help with some of the facilitation for the SIG once it's up and going. I'll do that today. Any additional thoughts? Anybody need anything else from the group, or any other topics you want to discuss? All right. We will adjourn at 11 after the hour. Thank you, everyone, for your time and attention. If you're working on, please take time this week to look at the 3 sections, provide any last thoughts or comments through PRs so that we can get these wrapped up into the TAC and then the GB in the coming weeks. So thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, thanks.